Hi, welcome or welcome back. My name is Sharifa, host of the Nubian Review here on this YouTube channel, and I'm coming to you today with my I Am America series. This is a special edition. So, in this series, I would give you 1 through 10 videos for Black History Month, and they are various recommendations. And with these various recommendations, I give you the reason why I'm recommending these selected books. Along with that, I do have a video, my 25 or 2025 African American um, history book recommendations. So I will try to link that somewhere in the video. But for today, a special President's Day video, right? Um, this would be video 3.5 because I already have a video, a third video in the episode. But I just kind of figured that I would give you guys a special treat since I am doing I Am America, and this falls under the heading of presidents. So, if you don't know by now, you should know who I'm talking about. So today, I bring to you today, I'm going to share books that I read of this president. He was the only black president in the United States in recorded history. And I'm talking about once, it became these United States. So the person that I share with you today is, of course, Barack Obama. I'm saying President Barack Obama. So former President Barack Obama was a Democrat president. And during his time, there was a lot of growth in the areas of, I would say, young black boys and girls seeing themselves as more than just limited in their possibilities, right? Because normally in the black community, I think athletes get too much praise and notoriety, but a lot of times the world really don't see the excellence and the genius of the black community. Mm, this was a gift. I like this cup, this mug. I am a lover of mugs, so if you ever have a nice mug, share with me. So today I come to you with just a few books, not a lot. I couldn't grab my entire selection because I'll be combing through a lot of my books, but the ones that I do have now are pretty good ones. But I'm going to start off with the one I think that you should read first before you read any of the other ones. So this one right here is his very first book, and this one was, I guess, his opening to his presidency. Barack Obama, The Audacity of Hope, um, Thoughts of Reclaiming the American Dream, and then the one book, and this is the one I want to share with you all, Dreams from My Father. That was the one I was supposed to pull, but I found this one first. I feel like if you really want to know the man before the presidency, Dreams of My Father was the book that he wrote introducing himself. And then The Audacity of Hope was the one that he wrote in when he was a senator. So both great books, but I only have one to share with you now. And this is the one that I will share with you. I'll probably use Dreams of My Father. I will probably use that in some other video. So the next one is one that was written by David forgive me, Moranis. David Moranis. He also wrote a book on former President Bill Clinton of his younger years. Now this one I think is a book club edition. This is not my original copy. This is a second copy that I acquired from like a Dollar Tree. I couldn't find my original one that I bought because it's like a 9x6. This is so much smaller. I think this is like a 5x8 size. But this is a great book about then President Barack Obama. Yeah, he tells the story of his humble beginnings until how he rose to be the person he was. Now, I'm going to share this one last. I got one that I want to share last, but this is the one I want to share with a lot. If you really want to know the rising of Barack Obama, David J. Garrow, he tells his story. Now, I'm be honest with you. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've read a lot of Garrow's work, and he tends to be overcritical of his subjects, a little bit too critical, to the point to where he focuses a lot on the negative. Like, we all are human and we all have our own failings, but it seems like he almost shines the spotlight on that area. Anyway, I thought this was a good read. I think next time I have the luxury of reading this book, because it took me a while, like I read it little by little. I think the next time I have the luxury of reading this book, it would be on audiobook. So this book I present to you, Rising Star, The Making of Barack Obama. This is a chunky monkey. So you see what I say when I'm talking about the next time. This would definitely, and it would definitely have to be in a paperback, because the only time I was able to really read it was when I was in my house, relaxed, and I had to lay it on my lap. Like, this is not a book that you want to, take out and read, because it's extremely heavy. But it was a really good read. He is also the author of Bearing the Cross. And that's when I said I've read his work before. Bearing the Cross is probably one of my favorite books of the Montgomery boycott, and it highlights Dr. King's beginning of being a civil rights activist. Like, I wouldn't say he was thrown into the light, but it was almost destined for him to take up that position based on the story. But you have to read it for yourself. David Garrow, he did such a critical, everything that he wrote about King in that book was highly critical. Although there were areas, he did an excellent job. Like, the story itself is great, but I'm always cautious of people who do biographies, and they're highly critical, like in a negative sense, of their subjects. I don't know. So, but anyway, Rising Star, it's actually in paperback now. I got this when it first came out, and when I found it on sale. So, good deal. It's in my library. I'm glad I have it. And last but not least is one of the most anticipated biographies of my presidential collection, and that would be A Promised Land, Barack Obama. And this is the first volume of this book. So I always tell people, if you've never read this, and if you're not into politics, or if you don't know a lot about the subject, this is a love letter to activists. And that's how I summed up this book. It is a love letter to activists. And I found it very intriguing, very eye-opening, very inspiring for someone who has spent a lot of her life in the realm of social service and outreach. I think that this book right here it was excellent. Now, from what I understand, this is a part 1, and there's a part 2 that's supposed to be published, and I am anticipating that to complete my collection. But yes, A Promised Land, Barack Obama, America's first black president. Now, at the time that you're watching this video, it's past our 2024 election. We had a Democrat candidate, Kamala Harris, who I felt was more suitable for the job. And so, but a lot of people did not see it that way. I think that we're going to look back on history and we're going to, well, not me personally, because I think I did my part. And even so, I did my part in the sense that I went out and I cast my vote to someone I felt like that would lead the country better. But a lot of people did not feel the same. And that's unfortunate, because what we see here in America now, these small privileges that we have are like literally slowly being stripped away. And so after Barack Obama, there was, even during his presidency, there was an outlash of the most hatred, bigotry remarks that I've seen in a long time. And a lot of people say, well, you know what? It wasn't about race. It was racism, loud and clear. I've never seen a president disrespected as much as I've seen Barack Obama disrespected. And I follow politics in the sense to where I'm paying attention to what's going on. I know sometimes we say, well, I'm not political. And I'm going to say this every time I talk about politics. Everything in your being is political. The way you wear your hair, the neighborhood you live in, the people you associate yourself with, okay? The jobs that we decide to take on, careers or whatever you want to call them. Everything about you is considered, political identity. That is part of your identity of who you are, whether you are a conservative or whether you are a progressive, whether you consider yourself part more leaning towards the Democratic Party or the Republican Party or an independent. Green Party, Libertarian, I mean, people think that they're libertarians and they're, part of the Green Party, but those two parties itself and other parties have never been successful in nominating a candidate to run on a full ticket. However, I'm not going to get into that rant. I'm not going to get into the rant about racism, because we know that racism is alive and well and kicking in the United States. It always have been. As a person who have been black all her life, I have experienced it. I know have other who have experienced it. These are shared stories amongst each other, and these are not stories that we are sharing because we want a pity party. Black people are the most resilient human beings, hands down, period. They are so resilient in the face of any kind of adversity. There's always an opportunity for us to bounce back. And I will say this as a black woman, this too shall pass. And so in saying that, I don't want to rant, but I just want to share this 3.5 video in my series. It's a special President's Day series, and so a special President's Day video in my I Am American series, and I hope you enjoy it. So thank you for stopping by. If you can do me a favor, if you can press like and subscribe, share with a friend, and if you have any books that you know of Barack Obama, please put it, in the comments. Or if you have a comment, please share. So let's keep the conversation going. I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.